Hey, it's Coolio if you don't know, and welcome back to another Low Bias Monthly. This one for May 2016. It is not 2015. I have to keep telling myself that as of 2 seconds ago, and until 2 seconds from now. Anyway, um, this month's theme is the first one I get to pick since my semi return to this whole thing. The theme is bullet curtain games, danmaku games that are not Touhou. And I have selected this game from very old backups I was looking through. It's called rRootage, as you can see from the screen here, and is basically four bullet hell games in one. Yeah, normal mode, Psy mode, Ika mode, and GW mode. Let's start with normal mode, shall we? Now, normal mode, I mean, it's your basic um, bullet hell game. Just avoid everything on the screen. You got a little dot there in the middle of your ship, and that's what needs to not get hit in order for you to survive. A lot of these bullet hell games are very similar in that respect, where you have a very small... That's very loud. I hope you can still hear me. Hopefully that's better. But yeah, you have a very small hitbox, regardless of the actual size of your ship. You can pretty much go and weave past endless, insane curtains of bullets. Now, this game is pretty much all bosses. A lot of the bullet hell games in this genre will have segments that are, you start with an onslaught of enemies that come at you and drop power-ups or things like that. But this one is all bosses. And I think they're procedurally generated to a point. I mean, you have your set bosses and they're always going to be the same based on which level you've picked. But, and which mode you've picked as well. But they're not like pre-programmed. So there are four modes, as I've pointed out. By the way, you get an extra life at 200,000, and every 500,000 thereafter. This applies to all modes. The difference is in your special weapon. So with normal mode, your special weapon is bomb. Pretty simple. You drop a bomb, and every bullet in that bomb gets destroyed, which is useful if you find yourself in a pinch. You only get so many bombs though, so make sure not to waste them like I just did. Of course I did waste them in order to prove a point, but, still. I don't profess being good at this type of game, but oh geez. I don't profess being good at this type of game, but I like to think I'm kinda half decent. So the bonus points are basically awarded based on how fast you clear the bosses. Of course, you got the boss health gauge at the very top there, and the number at the end, obviously, it's health, and the number along the bar there is the point at which the boss will change phases. Sometimes this can be multiple times. In these earlier levels, it's usually only once. Now I'm not going to play very far into each mode, but I am going to show off all 4 modes. So there we go. We have cleared the stage. I believe we get bonus points for lives left. I'm not sure. Oh geez, I just went into the same level again and then accidentally quit the game. Let's get back into this here. So let's go into Psy mode. So in Psy mode you don't get bombs, but the point is for you to graze. Grazing is the idea of trying to get as close to bullets as you possibly can without actually hitting. This could result in power-ups depending on the game. It could result in bonus points. I believe in rRooting you get bonus points for grazing. As you can see, when I get really up close to bullets here, you kind of hear a little swishing sound effect and a little visual effect as well that's kind of subtle, but you know, if you're paying attention, you can definitely see it. Now the special weapon in this one is the I think the README calls it circle or something. Basically allows you to graze from a little further distance. It's used automatically when the gauge at the bottom right there is filled, which mostly fills on its own. I think it goes a little faster the more you graze. Oh, boys. Yeah, that I shouldn't have gone back there. That was the problem. And I almost had it too. Just like in most bullet hell shooters, when you clear a phase or defeat a boss, all of its bullets will disappear. In some, for instance Touhou, when you phase or defeat a boss, I believe all of the bullets turn into collectible items, which tends to be the case as far as bullet shooters that have bullet hell shooters that I've seen. Those pickups can be things like power-ups or, you know, mostly just scoring items. Now the biggest trick in playing this sort of game, you want to be aware where the boss is, of course, because you want to be firing at it, but you need to be looking at your ship, not at the boss. You need to be aware of all of the bullets that are coming toward your ship so that you can avoid them, like I just didn't right at the end of the phase. At least this game is pretty generous with points, so if you're half decent at this sort of game, you're probably not going to actually lose. And I've cleared another stage. I want to make sure that I don't end up back in the same stage here. Ika mode. This one's a little different. Right now my ship is blue, which means I can run into blue bullets and not get hit. In fact, when I run into my color, into bullets of my color, it'll send them right back at the boss. This is taking on a game called Ikaruga, which employs this this unique method. Well, not really unique if this game does it, but you get the point. Where you get white and black bullets, and whatever color your ship is, you can absorb that type of bullet. Now in Ikaruga, when you absorb these bullets, it will actually charge up a progressive weapon, which you can unleash at any time. Now this game only uses 7 keys, which are the up, down, left, right, Z to fire, X to use your special ability, and escape to quit. Oh jeez. I think he got me first, actually. So yeah, you don't get a special weapon. But what is particularly interesting about this mode is that you can literally just beat the boss without ever firing. You can just be a dot eater and just send the enemy's attacks right back at it like Kirby does. Or like Ikaruga does. More accurately. It's all about knowing which color you want to be and where you want to be with it. As far as where to get this game, I really couldn't tell you. Because this is from a very old backup, as far as I can tell, dating from back in 2003. It's in a folder called Underdog, so I assume that I got it from Home of the Underdogs, but that website, last I checked, does not offer downloads anymore. So it's pretty much up to you to find it if you want to give it a try, but it's pretty good. The music's pretty good too. I don't know if there's more than just this one track, but it's appropriate for this type of game. There we go. I don't seem to be gaining as many points in this mode as I was in others, but whatever. This should be the last boss of this stage. And it does help as far as eating bullets that the collision box for your color is much larger than the one for the opposing color, so you don't really have to run into bullets in order to eat them. Ow. Oh, jeez. This is perilous. Ah! There we go. Stage clear. Yeah, that one was a little messier than the other ones. Okay, so finally, GW mode. Now, I don't know what game this takes from, but the special weapon in this one is Reflect. You see the bar at the bottom right there says OK. Whenever it says OK, you can hold it down. And basically, everything that you run into gets sent back to the boss, as it would in Ika mode. Now, one thing to note is that you do have to keep holding down the button in order to actually use the weapon. Also, it's harder to get bonus points in this mode. I don't know why. Yeah, you have to keep holding it down until you get the flash and the weapon has been deployed. Oh, that was hard. Then eventually it charges back up, and it just takes a few seconds. And you can use it again. Boom. Really not sure how bonus points work in this game, so can't answer that question. And a whole lot of bullets reflected back at it. There we go. Okay. There's always a gap. In this type of game, either there is always going to be a gap somewhere, or it's a matter of guiding the bullets where you want them to go to have an escape route. Another stage done. Well, another boss done in this stage, rather. And another one-up. Obviously, with these types of games, you also get the idea of kind of time trial, because all of these bosses are timed. They don't count down. With some of these games, the boss timer counts down rather than up. And once you've survived whatever amount of time, the boss will just either blow up of its own accord or retreat. Which makes it completely possible in games such as Ikaruga to do a completely pacifist run. Well, we're we're getting pretty close to the end here. It's got this last boss to contend with. And so I will run directly into the path of a bullet. That's a fantastic idea there, Coolio. Final phase. And I got another one up. Not that I'll need it, because the stage is complete. So that's all 4 game modes. And now, just for the heck of it, let's go back to normal mode and see what the last stage is like. Oh, mama. This is going to be a nightmare and lasts about 10 seconds. Let's do this. Oh, this game does have different music. Well, I was expecting 10 seconds and I got better than that. How do people do this? Am I actually going to No, I'm not. It's kind of hopeful there that I might actually defeat one boss, but no. Wow. That was a thing. Alright, so that's my game for this. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure it's out there on the internet somewhere, so give it a try if you want to, if you think this is interesting, and I hope you enjoy the selections that the other Low Bias Gaming participants are doing. So, I'm Coolio if you don't know, and I'll see you guys next time.